Hello everybody, I am just doing a little sound setup to explain to Mr. Fested. Hey, how you doing,
Hello.
Fested? Alright,
I'm doing alright.
so I have just started the stream, so you should be able to see what's going on. Has it started for you yet?
Well, you weren't in my follow list as online, but yeah, it's on.
Okay, yeah, I literally just started it just before I started talking to you. So,
Oh, okay.
alright, so, what we're gonna do is I want to show you my sound setup and how it all works. Right now, what I could do is let me just move my camera away, and that's the desktop. There you go. That's the stream PC. Now the camera's
Alright.
back. Because this is a completely different scene. Alright, so this is my actual stream PC. Actually, let me just stop this. And I've got my cat meowing at me, and it's not normal stream time. Stop streaming. Alright, so this is my basic setup. Now I use this thing called SoundMeter Banana. Right.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Okay. So what you can do with this is, the cool thing about this thing is the way you do it is you have different channels. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 input channels going in. Right, and as you can see, I've actually renamed mine to be what they are. So I've got my microphone in one channel, my the pretzel. Now I actually bought the extra thing called that the VB audio cables. Now you can get one for free, but if you want two sources, you need to purchase the one that gives you two audio sources. And so
Alright.
yeah, so this one is cable A, and this one is cable. Actually, wait, are you? Yeah, cable B. Let's see, cable. Yeah, it's just named silly. VB audio cable A. Okay, so what happens now? For example, pretzel. If I look at the pretzel settings, and I see over there, I set it to auxiliary input, sort of input A, cable A. So what that means is that when this thing plays, when this thing actually plays, you'll notice it will be on this channel. And so I've got full volume control of the pretzel without actually touching the pretzel's volume. You know, so you can adjust
That is quite helpful. It is.
right now. That's so yeah, and it's exactly the same as Discord. For example, if you talk on Discord, watch the Discord channel.
Yeah, I noticed it's been jumping up and down a bit when I talk.
So in other words, I can mute the whole Discord channel and change the volume of the Discord channel without it actually sort of affecting any other volumes. So you've actually got different volume controls of it. Now I do have something called a Korg Nano Control 2, which is a little MIDI interface. and that actually connects in with the MIDI mapping over here, so that when I change, I've got a hardware thing, to kind of change the volumes like that on a little flat MIDI panel. But I mean, it's, you can do the same. You can do the same with the mouse, or you can do it with macro keys and stuff like that. That's another way of doing it. All right, now, are you using a single PC or two PC setup?
No, just a single PC setup.
All right. I mean, again, this stuff is still all valid. Now, one of the things you can also do, if you look at in Windows, the sound settings. Where's it?
Easier to just right-click the little sound icon and go sound settings.
Yeah, it just moves it all over the place. Yeah, open sound setting. There you go. Okay, so now what you can do with this is where is it in this one? Let me actually look on my other PC. Hey, how you doing, Grey Gamer? Yeah, so Gray, what I'm doing is I'm just explaining to Fested, is one of the Alienation team members, how I've got the whole sound meter set up and stuff like that. It's not a real kind of stream. It's just, and if you got any questions and stuff like that, then just jump into Discord, and I will drag you down. Let me have a look here. Yeah, so jump into the, if you can't get into open voice, jump into the lobby and I'll drag you down. And, any questions in that, feel free to ask away. I see, also what I've got with this one, if you look over here, you see that says cable B input. So that's my output device. So that's why I've got those two virtual cables. The pretzel goes into cable A, this one goes into cable B, allowing two sound devices sort of to work. So I've got two completely separate controls for Discord and for the music. So I can adjust the music or Discord. So in other words, if Discord's too loud, I can adjust the volume of people coming into Discord. If it's too soft, I can pump the volume up, and I can change it that way. But there is something.
Yeah, because that is a huge problem with Discord. Like some people are so low you can barely hear them, and some is like you have to turn Discord down.
I have another solution for that. I'll show you. This is kind of getting to the basic stuff, but I'll show you another solution. Now, where's that? Oh, there it is. Windows is just horrible. All right, so if we kind of check here, sound settings. I'm just trying to see where Windows changes. It keeps your app volume and device preferences. There you go. So you can also set specific things to be with a different device. This is with Windows 10. So you can kind of have your browser to be at a different device. So for example, OBS, you can kind of set it to one of the many devices. Now let me show you what happens when you install open sound. There we go. All right, so when you install what's it called, VoiceMeeter, you get two devices. Sort of input is actually output, and output is input.
Yeah.
It's so it's input I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me either. But it's like kind of reversed. Um, so you've got
But it really isn't, because oh well, it is actually, because the playback should be an output and the recording should be an input.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Well, it's kind of all the devices are like that. It's weird. Anyway, but anyway, so what you've got is you've got your auxiliary. So when you just install VoiceMeeter, you got the normal input and you got your auxiliary input. So you've got, so that automatically gives you two devices relating to these two over here. These two
Yeah.
virtual devices, right? So those are auxiliary. No, these are the speakers. It would be
Like right now,
as
I'm only
recording.
using the regular input.
Yeah, I think it would be as recording. I don't know. Anyway, but anyway, you've got so you've got two devices, and if you install those cables, you either get a VoiceMeeter auxiliary cable or whatever. I'm actually going to rename this one. I'm going to call this cable A input. Don't know why it changed. Windows. Cable A input. See, there, it's got something up there as well. It changed it as well. Weird. Cable B output. Yeah, it's output kind of you input into the speakers, output. I don't know. Input into playback, output into recording. There you go. So that's kind of the way they're working it. So you can see I've got my normal microphone, my Yeti microphone here. That's just a device coming in. You've got the two VoiceMeeter ones, and you've got the two cables. So if you look at the cables, these are the two cables, cable A and cable B. So that makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah, because I got the VoiceMeeter ones too, like the aux and the regular one. Although I'm not using those right now in the recording, but
yeah. So we'll show you how kind of these are used later, how they're used in the whole base thing. But what I've got is I've got a virtual cable. Now you can get a single virtual cable for free, but I opted for getting the two cables so I could separate, like, kind of have all these channels as things. That's kind of what I've done with mine. So you've got your normal one, your VoiceMeeter. This is the normal one. This is your auxiliary one. And so for example, what you could do on a single PC is you have your default. My default is the auxiliary. Right? Now you can have your default as the normal one, or as your auxiliary or normal one. You have one of them as a default, and then say your browser as a different, sort of as a different one, and that will again give you another two channels over there. And you can do that with the Windows, with that Windows settings thing over here.
yeah.
If you go to the sound settings and then the app volume and devices, and then you can actually tell it. Right, you see I've told it exactly what my default ones are. So that's the full system, but then you could say Discord, force it onto a particular one. At the moment it's set as default because I changed it in Discord, but for the programs like a browser that doesn't have that, you can force it onto a different one. So if you're playing your music through a browser, you could actually force Chrome to use a different one. Now it doesn't matter because that's all the things coming into your system. VoiceMeeter mixes it. It mixes it all together. So we'll go through to that. So you've got all your inputs are coming in. These are all your inputs into your mixer, into your VoiceMeeter mixer. Now, what I've actually got, if you let me just go on to bring this guy up here. All right, so what I've got, if I move on to the main one. Now this is my game PC, and it's set out a little bit differently. I've kind of got a different sources over there, but you see I've got the desktop as the normal one. If you look over here, so it's got a ton of different devices in that, but it's recording. Yeah, it's sort of same sort of devices and things like that. All right, so what it does is the desktop mixes the desktop mixes up, and it comes out as, I believe it's A. I got, oh, because it's this down there. I want to have feedback, but anyway, it's mixing over there. But what it's doing is it's saying the output, these different buses. So okay, the other thing, let me just explain that one before I get ahead of myself. So you've got your inputs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inputs, right? You got your 3 inputs. Then you've got A1, A2, A3, B1, and B2. Now what these guys are is, if you look over here, you've got A1 telling you what sound device it's going to output on. So this one's telling it to output on the high definition speakers. A2 has got nothing. Oh, sorry. There you go. So this is on the on the stream PC. So this one just says the high definition speakers. A2 nothing, and A3 nothing. If I go back to my game PC, which is going to be similar to what yours is. So A1 is the speakers. A2 is my gaming headset. Evil Pokemon trainer. Nice. And A3 is the NVIDIA high definition audio. That's for it to go through the HDMI. So those A1 to A3 are kind of your basic outputs. They kind of, things get mixed in on B1 and B2, and then, kind of your, basically what you've got, basically the way to explain it, just trying to find a good way to explain it, is you've got 5 inputs and 5 outputs. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2. The thing is, B1 and B2 correspond to so B1 and I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way. I'm just trying to explain this. Oh, it actually says at the bottom. You've got your physical is A1 to A3. So that is your actual physical hardware that it's going out as. And your virtual hardware is B1 and B2. So what happens now, if for example, I turn this guy on. Okay, now that is actually going to feed back into the stream PC. I've actually got a setting back into my stream PC. You can kind of see what's happening over there. That's coming in from the stream PC.
Huh. All right.
Now, if you look at when I'm talking with the mic, look at the mics feeding in there. And that's kind of between the two PCs, is using that V-band thing. Well, you don't need to use it, so... But that's kind of how I'm getting my sound across. I'm not actually using HDMI. It's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
I've got, like I said, I've got a very complex setup. But as you can see, kind of, what it's taking is the outgoing, that's bus B1, goes to my game PC across the network. So if
So you're actually sending the sound from your microphone through your network to your streaming PC.
Yeah. Okay, why am I doing that? Because if you're playing games and it has a microphone, then you know, it kind of wants to sort of you could talk in game without actually having a different microphone. For example, here's another microphone. This is the G38. Okay, and look at this. So if I talk on both of these, look how they're both going. So you see, this is the G533 microphone. Now, what's actually happening is you saying that's kind of weird because now you're using two microphones. When I'm playing games and I'm not streaming, then I kind of use this one. But I don't need to adjust anything in my games because each one goes out on B2. And that will be kind of my microphone one, my output. So the default, I never actually have to change in the game anything that's happening.
So it's like no matter if you use the Yeti or you use the Logitech, it's still gonna be your default microphone.
So yeah, check out this. This is the Discord on. This is the Discord on my game PC. If I go to the user settings, now remember the other one had input, default, output, the cable B.
Audio cable B.
This one is just input default, output default. But I can use the stream PC mic. I can use the G53, G533 mic. Currently I've got this set to the browser, but it could actually be anything. I haven't actually got anything on this one. But I can set it to multiple different things and it goes out as default. Because if you look at the default, even though, where's my... Alright, so there you go. There's my default auxiliary output. And that is set as the default. And that's B2. So it's kind of like... so it gives you the advantage of never having to change devices in any games and stuff like that. Alright, but that's because...
But that is mostly useful when you do like a dual PC setup.
Yeah. So that's the V-band. But if we go back to the game PC, I mean not the game PC, the stream PC, which kind of would be, you would have a similar sort of thing, but it would be a little bit different. So what you would do is you would have... Alright, so now look at this. When I'm talking over here, alright, so look at this one. Look at the as I'm talking, you can see B2 is firing off. Okay, so that's B2.
Yeah.
The B2 sound is firing off as I'm talking. Now, as you spoke, did you see B1 fired off?
Yeah, I did.
A1 is firing off as well. Now A1 is going to my headset. So if you notice, my headset volume is down. So I don't hear as loud as what it is. I can pump it up, but I don't need to. It's loud enough. So the microphone, I've got it all set to B2. And B2 is, yeah, well, yeah. So if you look at, where is it, recording, B2 is the auxiliary. B1 is sort of, B1 is not B1 is the normal voice meter output, B2 is the auxiliary. So check this, if I put up the music, now look at that, that's going on B1, which is this one. Well, it's, where's it? Oh yeah, because it's coming on it's coming in on that one, but it mixes to that one. Actually, no. What's going on here? Oh, this is confusing. Anyway, but we'll work this out. It's kind of, you got to play and set with it. The idea is to have a couple of devices, and then you've got they've got B1, B2. Now, watch what happens when. Let me put that one down. When I have where is it? Let me just pop open a browser here. Actually, let me just do, you know what I can do? Let me start up Divinity. I was playing Divinity earlier. Such a great game. So I'm just starting up Divinity, and I show you what's happening over here. Now again, this is what I'm saying. You can have your default, so everything through your desktop will be through your default device. Now, if you look over here, I mean, the thing is, we can actually have this all up here. So once Divinity starts, I don't know what, sometimes takes a while to start. And this is, we're just going through the really simple setup, but it's kind of, you've got to mess around with this to get a good feel of exactly what's going on.
Yeah, my biggest problem is that while we do, or well, it's been a while now, but when we do the horror Saturdays, when Malin gets scared, she usually screams like a normal person would do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was actually gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up.
All right.
There's a reason for that. Oh, actually, wait. I just noticed something while this is starting. I forgot to actually mention it. Look at the way I've got this set up. My microphone. Alright, so you've got two virtual outputs, B1 and B2. Now look how I've got it set up. The microphone only goes to B2, and the rest of the audio goes to B1. So I've actually ended up with two channels, B1 and B2.
Yeah, but I know I tried setting my mic in VoiceMeeter, but it gave me feedback. Whenever I talked, I heard it in my headset.
Okay, now I can't hear it in the headset. Now, what else do you notice over here? Look at the A1. So if I want to hear myself talking, I turn on A1, and now I can hear myself talking. Now, you are not going to hear the echo. You won't hear the echo, but I will hear it in my headset.
Oh, so it's because I have the A1 enabled. If I would turn that off, it would only like pick up my microphone and not feed it back to me in my headset.
All right, so this is where this is the what I was trying to explain earlier, which I completely lost because I forgot about this. All right, so you've got your A1 to A3, which are your physical outputs. So like I showed you on my game PC, I've got my speakers, I've got my headset, and I've got the HDMI cable. Those are the 3 physical outputs. Now, remember you said, oh, I want to use 2 speakers. I want to use sort of 2 headsets. So if you've got...
I got that working, and it works perfectly fine.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the thing that you can do, is you can have two headsets as 2 different, and if you want to turn off the one headset, you can just turn it off by clicking on the by clicking on the
like A2 or
A2 or whatever.
Depending on...
I mean, also this is great because it means, say you're playing a game and all of a sudden you say, oh, I want to use my headset, I don't want to use my speakers anymore. You don't need to restart the game. A lot of games you actually need to restart it to set the sound thing or change the sound thing in the game. All my games are set to default. I never need to change any sound devices in my games. They're all set to the defaults. And I can choose where the output is with VoiceMeeter.
Yeah, that's a thing I love with VoiceMeeter, because it made it just so simple to be 2 persons in the same stream just hearing whatever's going on.
Exactly. So you've kind of got, so those are. Those A1 to A3 are the are your outputs, your physical outputs, and then B1 and B2 are your virtual outputs. Now look at my OBS. All right, so what you're seeing in the OBS is when I'm talking, you're seeing this mic thing going off, right?
Yeah.
And when you talk, the VoiceMeeter one goes off.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so now if I put some music on,
that'll make the desktop audio go off.
that's the VoiceMeeter one is going off. The desktop audio doesn't really go off at all. So look at that. Now look at when I'm talking, how the mic is hitting the yellow. Right? The mic is hitting the yellow when I'm talking.
Yeah.
Now if I put that is the music on maximum. And the music on maximum doesn't hit up to the yellow, because this one is set to -9. Hey, Sam. Oh god, I've even got this. No, geez. You know what, Sam? Because I'm on a different. Just wait, just for Sam. There he is. Sam, 17 months in a row. Thanks for that. Yes, you haven't been on forever because you're actually working. You've got a job. But let's give us some. There we go. There you go. Oh, now watch that desktop thing. You see the desktop is going now because it's a desktop sound. So you see how the desktop sound is going, but it's actually affecting the VoiceMeeter.
Currently I only see Divinity.
Who's this jerk streaming in the weekends that I haven't seen in forever? Kappa.
Yeah, so and tell him what I'm actually doing is I'm hoping I'm trying to help Fested with getting his sound setup going. So yeah, they're kind of I'm trying to go through the basics of this, and I'm getting a little bit lost sometimes. It's kind of like it was a long time ago since I kind of worked it all out and stuff like that. And I haven't actually had to change it in ages. But anyway, so you kind of see how that's done. So my mic is on kind of 0 decibels, and it's set so that it's always going to be above the games and everything else, because everything else is at minus 9.3 decibels lower. So it doesn't matter if I go full volume. Makes no difference. My mic will always be above that. So it doesn't matter how loud the game is, it will never be louder than my mic. Thanks, Shannon. I actually had people complaining about that. So you see, that's why I've got this in two separate channels, B2 and B1, so 2 virtual devices. So all the other sound is on the B1 channel, the mic is on B2 channel. Now if you look at what I've got in Discord, settings, oops, and audio. So there, mic is the auxiliary output device, which corresponds to B2, and the desktop is the default. Well, desktop's default, but that's, I mean, I could set it to the other one, but what I've got over here with this device, well, look at the properties. This is set to the normal VoiceMeeter output. So remember you got the auxiliary and the normal. So my mic goes everything to auxiliary, and the VoiceMeeter goes to the normal stuff. And that's kind of how I separate the thing. Now, if you go onto the advanced audio properties there, you can actually see kind of what's happening is the monitor. I always run with the monitor off because you're monitoring it through VoiceMeeter, you're not monitoring it through this. And the desktop audio is monitor only, mute output. So it's not doing the double thing. But one of the cool advantages of this is if you look over here, each of my things that when I record them has got 3 channels. You've got one channel that is a mix of everything. Channel 2 is the VoiceMeeter, so the game sounds and everything else. And channel 3 is kind of the mic. So in other words, I can do a full recording of something if I decide to record it, and then I can blank out track 3 and have no and kind of have no mic in there at all. So that's if you're recording, that's kind of an interesting way to do it as well. Hello, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to like
You
get
feeling?
everything in.
Well, that's why I wanted to do this as a VOD, so you can actually see and pull up exactly what screens I was on and things like that.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, like the sound is good, cause like those settings I got perfect for A1, A2, like the 2 different headsets.
Yeah.
But my problem is the microphone, cause I think I've lowered it in OBS, and it's like I have to mix around with it all the time.
Okay, so what I've got is, first of all, the output volume of this is always at 100%. Because it's always at 100% because OBS controls it. Now, if I look at my Yeti and I look at the levels, I've kind of got that pretty close to 100% because it doesn't really, because a VoiceMeeter controls the sort of the input. Now I've got something else a little bit more advanced than what we've currently got here. So this is just kind of the basic VoiceMeeter input without any sort of filters and stuff like that. Haven't you the amount of Talang? Oh, fine. There you go. There you go. Asshole. No, actually, this is just the desktop capture thing. So it's not, so it's just my stream PC capture. Wow, Hassan, you know something? I didn't miss you at all. Not even the side. Yeah, so as you can see, everything over here, so kind of everything over here is at, you know, the 0 dB, which is kind of max volume. I actually limited it so that it doesn't overboost, and then I've got the two inputs over here. Now, what you're talking about, the screams and stuff like that, that is something called a compressor. So one of the things that VoiceMeeter has got, right? So this is the basic setup where you've got your channels coming in and your B1, B2 going out, and that relates to the auxiliary and the normal. The normal, B1 is the normal, B2 is the auxiliary, and that's kind of what's happening here. Auxiliary and normal, and then the desktop is just, you know, kind of, I mean, you might have something a little bit different, like for example yours, you wouldn't actually have to have the extra voice meter thing because your desktop would be your normal one. I just kind of did it like this quite a while ago and never actually changed it. But in essence, what I could do is I could have the desktop audio device, well, set to the default, and then the default being, yeah, being, or set to is it the voice meter input? So I mean, if I have something like that, yeah, oh wait, this one, is it voice meter output or whatever, but anyway, default. Yeah, you can fiddle around with that to get that working right for you. I just ended up, you know, doing it differently so I could actually divide the sounds even more. Because now any alert and that plays in the browser within OBS goes through this one, and then I can, you know, mix it down into that one using the advanced audio properties by turning it on to mute. So it just shows you, but it mutes any output, meaning that it's going through here anyway. That's kind of what I did. It's a little bit of a crappy way of doing it, but it does work for me.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme for being on the same PC, perhaps.
Yes, sort of.
Since like it's one PC, I mean, the sound is still gonna be on the same computer as
Sort of. I mean, all right. So
programs.
if you look at this now, when my game PC plays up, you see there it's coming on the game PC. If I do something on the browser, where's my browser? Yeah. Let's close that. Oh, Windows, why? No, stop snapping.
Gotta love Windows 10.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I can't move these things between. There we go. So I've got a tiny little screen. I've got a tiny little screen over here that I've got actually in front of my desk, so for things that I can monitor. Right, so if you got kind of like, right, let me stop this. Right now, that's playing, but because I've set the browser to be on the same one as Pretzel.
Opening up GPU-Z, it even thinks that this is a GTX
So it's the same sort of
and
channel.
knows that it has 1 GB of RAM. So everything looks
And
right.
that I
Today we'll
did.
benchmark the card and explain how this scam works.
I
Did
did that via that thing that I was showing you
Before
earlier
that, this video is
with the
brought to you
Windows
by
10
Thermal
thing.
Grizzly's high-end thermal paste.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
liquid
you
metal.
decided
Thermal Grizzly's
where
Chroma is an affordable,
Chrome
high-quality
were
thermal
supposed to put
compound
out the
that doesn't
sound.
have some of the aging
Chrome,
limitations
I
of
set
other
it
pastes
to
on the
automatically
market.
go on that one.
Chroma has a
So I
thermal
can change it to
conductivity
something
of
else. So that's
12.5
kind of,
watts per meter
you know, you can
Kelvin,
have,
focuses on endurance, is easy to spread, and isn't electrically conductive.
so you can kind of have, you can do that as well to your thing if you want to have sort of, depending on where your music is, if you want to, if it's on that app. I use this app specifically because it's easy to adjust where you want it to go to. But yeah, if you do it through browser, that would work as well. All right, so
Yeah.
so there you go. So I've got kind of, with the using the B1 and B2, I've got my two virtual outputs to go to the normal and the auxiliary. And then I bring it in, kind of normal is set to my, the auxiliary is set to my mic, and normal is set to this VoiceMeeter thing. And that's kind of, so I don't do any mixing or any sort of tuning in OBS. Everything is done in VoiceMeeter, and then it comes through to that. All right, but that doesn't, that's kind of the small part of the picture. So if you open up the system settings of VoiceMeeter, you'll see this thing at the bottom, these patches. All right.
Yeah, I never really understood those.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got your, all right, so this is so that you can send the stuff through various filters if you want to. Now, the thing that this has also got is, if you look over here on this, you've got equalizers. If you want to do it in VoiceMeeter, you've got various equalizers there. You just right click over there and you can turn the equalizer on, equalizer on, equalizer off. You know, you can adjust it over there. So if I turn the equalizer on and I go over here, now this should start changing, should start changing my voice. I'm not sure how it's sounding. I'm not sure how
I
it's
believe
sounding
still
if yeah, if I start messing
through
around with that.
Discord, it's still sounding as normal, but
Well, actually, the Discord should be getting the change signal. What you hear in
wait.
Discord is exactly what this thing does over here.
oh yeah, I noticed
So
now.
yeah, so it's so that's why what you're hearing on Discord is exactly what you're hearing with the stream. So again, I can mess around with that. You know, I can mess around with that and do it in sort of and do it on output stage. But I don't use this for anything. If you notice, all my stuff are done. And again, you can now unmuted it. You can hear me again. So you kind of got all those sort of things over there. Usually when I want to mute the microphone, and there you go, back. So you've got all those things. But now, another program I use is something called Cantabile Lite. It's free, right? This is kind of, originally I was using, Talon, what was that? What I was using originally? What was it called? Module Manager or something like that?
Yeah, wasn't it something like that?
Yeah, it was the one that I was using, another one originally. Mini host modular. That's it. The mini host.
Yeah, mini host. Yeah.
Oh, but the problem with the mini host, the big problem I had with mini host is that every time I started up the PC, I had to go in, I had to set it to load, I had to, you know, load up the profile and all that sort of stuff. Where with Cantabile, I don't need to do any of that, and I actually find it, I feel it's a lot more stable. All right, and so what we do with this is you've got your, if you look over here, oh, is it, but I haven't used this thing in ages. Audio ports. Right, so if you go in the audio ports, now look at this. You've got your browser, which is into for your left, right. Your desktop is number 4, and these things actually correspond. Your microphone, left, right. Now look at the numbers. In 5, in 5, in number, right. So you've got ins. So for example, microphone. It's microphone. In, left, in 1, right, in 1. And then you've got the out, microphone out, in 1 and in 2, and so the in 1 things, and they correspond to that,
To the
in 1
patches
left,
in
yeah.
VoiceMeeter.
So you see, I haven't got them all turned on. You see what's in 5 left and in 5 right. So what's that one? In 5 is the game PC that corresponds to this one. So I've kind of named them. I've named them properly over here. So you kind of need to add them in manually. I see. Just add stereo input. You call it the name, and it should. Oh, you call it, yeah. It's a stereo input test. So test, and then you click on there and assign channel. In 1 left, the channel. You see, there's all the whole list and that sort of stuff. So you kind of had to do that manually to the ones that, and I can remove that. Oh, shit. Give me a second. Oh, so now that Cantable's. All right, there we go. We're back. Well, it's a little bit of a, sometimes changing it while it's running does cause issues. Well, actually, that was an issue because I added one that was already there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what you do once you've got all the settings, you can just save you could save it as a song. So open song. Now you see these are kind of, I've got all my settings set up there. So this is kind of, I've got one for my game PC, because it does some normalization and stuff as well. So I've got it running, and this is the stream PC, this one. All right, so once that's done, then it's got the inputs over here, it will appear over here, and then you can start adding those VST modules. So if I look at what's going on here, microphone, EQ stereo, and that's kind of where it's going to. So the microphone comes in, it goes to that one. And if I look over here, there is the microphone EQ in, and it tells out which port to go out. So if I look over there, and there it is, this is kind of that VST thing. And there I've got things like my gate setup, the compressor setup. So it doesn't matter if you scream or carry on, whatever, the volume is never going to go above a certain point. If you speak too soft, it's going to push the volume up. And you kind of set everything over there. And then you kind of got your equalizer, which you adjust to set up your voice kind of the way it needs to be. Now that's kind of, the complex one of doing it. But if you don't want to mess with any of those things, and you just want the compressor, I mean, the reason I'm using this particular module is because I wanted the gate and the equalizer. But if I look at the Discord one, so we've got the Discord coming in, And if I look at the Discord one, there it is, there's the Discord one. And the Discord one, oops, not that one, is just a compressor. So if you talk, you'll see it will adjust on that, and people that speak soft it will push their volume up, and people that speak loud, it will bring the volume down. So
so basically, if I just would like scream into the microphone, it would lower my voice to a like normal sound.
Yeah, you can scream as loud as you want. It will not break my ears or anybody who's watching the stream's ears. That's kind of the whole idea of the compressor. So with Melania, if she screams at something, people watching the stream are not going to go deaf. I think games like Ark, for example. No, well, this is the whole. Yeah, other people who are in Discord, their ears would bleed, but anybody watching the stream would be fine. And in fact, mine kind of, because this goes out to for the mic that goes into Discord is always the exact same voice that you're hearing on Discord is what you're hearing in the stream. So it's having all the clearing that is happening in Discord is happening in the stream. So that's kind of how this is set up. And now you can see kind of it's got all the volumes over here. So if, for example, I turn on. So this is the game PC. And where is it? Game PC, there you go. This isn't as clear as the other one, but there you go. So a game like Ark, now this is max volume, right? A game like Ark, which kind of when it starts up, I mean, let's actually do that.
When Ark starts up, it just totally destroys your ears.
All right, so let's do that. Let's start up Ark, and we can watch the compressor. Oh God, have I still got Ark? Oh, the Ark Survival. Right, play. Haven't loaded up Ark. Oh, it's not even on my SSD. It might take a second or two to start. But when that's one game. That's what actually drove me to do this. Oh, and the other one that does it, KSP. When you're near a rocket motor, it blows your ears off. See, look at that. That's a max volume. That was Ark starting at absolute max volume.
Yeah, that is a difference.
And you can see the compressor working overtime, keeping that volume down. Yeah, well, I mean, Ark is a special case. Ark is because they just go crazy with the volume. So there might be some clipping in that, but that's but it's far better that than actually blowing everybody's eardrums when that thing starts up. You know, and it's only kind of at the beginning. So so you could see kind of what was happening there, and so that is how I get all my sound to be like even. So my game PC is always at 100% volume. I very rarely do I need to adjust the volume in any of my games in that. I'll kind of maybe lower the volume over here a bit, but usually but usually leaving this at 0 dB, and with this being at like almost minus 9.3, it never gets too loud. So I don't actually have to fiddle with the volumes in games or anything like that at all. And again, if anybody has any questions and stuff like that, or wants to know anything specific, jump into Discord and ask away, or you ask in chat, you know. But again, we're just going through this. What Talon, that was actually through VBAN. So all my game sound, so let me start up again. Oh, you know what I can do? Let me do a YouTube. Oh, actually, yeah. That's probably a good one to do. Let me just see if I can find.
All right, wait, I gotta go quick. Be right back. But well, keep going through this because the VOD will contain it for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you, what you gonna do, like 5 minutes or something, or a little bit more?
Yes, 5:10.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, because I can answer with Talon. He asked about the latency. So yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
let me know when you get back.
Will do.
Okay, so where is reverse the verse? Because what? Because people are idiots. People are idiots. That's why. All right, so let's go back to. Oops. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do. So, Talon, I've actually got this going through VBAN, not through HDMI, and it's actually kind of weird. My sound going through VBAN, I find to be far more. Not efficient. I have far less problems going through VBAN than HDMI, than so there it is. It's going through this one here. All right, so I'm playing this on my game PC, and the sound is obviously going through to the stream PC and joining it up. So check to see lip syncing.
When we go to actually make the full finalized design of what is the problem we're solving.
Gotcha. So while the DNA of grabby hands can be seen in today's interaction system, the 1-1 look of it is obviously very different. What we're going to be doing today is a similar prototyping of a potential research gameplay. It's not to say that this is what it will be when it makes into the game, but who knows? Some aspect of this may influence, may impact whatever the eventual design is.
It may, at the very least, serve as inspiration for things we do or don't want to see, the types of interactions that we want to see the player doing or not doing, and it's also actually kind of a test bed for some.
So you see that, Talon, and that's kind of that's going through VBAN. So what I'm actually doing is on my game PC, it sends it everything in bus B1. So as this is playing,
the new UI tech that we have,
it's going B1.
That lets me make screens and alter those
the
much
B1
faster than before.
He's sending over.
Before we get started, any updates on javelin basketball? Was that the last one we had you on for?
Yeah, that's been a while.
Well, I'm gonna ask the community. We've had Helix
so
on
it's
for a
sending over
couple
to
of
the
these.
game
Was javelin
PC,
basketball the last one?
Over that. It's sending over to the game PC where it is putting in virtual 2.
No, we did try to do one of these for air hockey for
Right, so that's that one, virtual 2. And there it is. And I haven't had any sync issues playing games or pretty much anything. I've got a gigabit, local network thing, and so it's just going from one to the other. You can see kind of the local ports and stuff like that at 48 megahertz, 24-bit. No problem. And then actually what I do is I send all the sound from B2 back, and B1, the stream sound, back to the main PC over here. And so my mic, as I'm talking, comes in over here, and the game sound comes in over here. So I can actually then fire off into Discord or something like that, and I can actually pipe in the game sound if I want to. So it's kind of like, you know, so this goes into my, so B2 is my mic. The B2 ones go as the mic. This one is muted, so it doesn't. But if I unmute this, hey Iceman, because my viewers are terrible. Iceman, I've got the worst viewers on Twitch, the worst. Yeah. So no, but I muted it. All right, so it's muted. It's muted. So kind of, yeah, it's muted. So it's not going out. But if I want to unmute it, then I can pipe it into Discord, or I can pipe. So okay. So say for example. Now remember, what it comes back is not looping back, right? So say you're playing a game that has voice over IP in it. You know, now as I'm using my Yeti mic, I don't need to use a different mic on my game PC. It's the same mic. That's kind of why I piped the mic back. So it would go as my main mic. But then I can be a complete arsehole if I want to, and kind of pipe the whole stream sound into the mic. So say for example, I'm listening to, you know, I want to pipe kind of the music through to my mic. Then yeah, I can do it. So, you know, it's, I haven't found a good use for it. I honestly haven't found a use for it. But it's and remember, it's the sound without the mic. It's just the game. It's just the game sound without the mic. So, and the reason I did that is somebody once asked me. They said, "Oh, can I listen to your stream on Discord?" Yeah, so can I listen to your stream on Discord without actually watching the video? And so this way, I can actually dump the sound into a Discord channel, and the person can listen to the whole stream without actually having to watch the video. But yeah, it's kind of, it was just, you know, it was an experiment. It was an experiment. I wanted to see if it would work. And you know what? It works. It does work. And so you could actually, if you want to set things like alerts and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I can actually take that whole thing and save it to an MP3. So kind of, if you're doing, for example, say you're doing a podcast or something like that, right? And you want to save the sound as a separate thing. Boom, there you go, done, sorted. So you can have people watching on Twitch, or you can have people listening in a Discord room. So, I mean, okay, it was an experiment to see if it would work, and you know what? It works. It works, and it works well. Or you can be a dick by piping the sound back into voice over IP for a game. You can play all your funny soundboards on your stream PC and send it into the game over voice over IP.
That is one way to do it.
Yeah, so I mean, And that's kind of what it did. You know, it was the two PC setup, seeing how well it would work, and you know what, it handles it just fine. Only to you, Sam. Only to you.
But yeah, the only question I got, like right now at least, using the compression, do I actually have to use that program, or is the compression in VoiceMeeter good enough?
All right. Quite simply, the VSTs that you get. Where is it? Let's go back to that. So yeah, you're talking about the compressor and the gate over here.
Yeah.
They work, but they definitely not at the same quality as the VSTs are. These actual voice things give you a much better real-time quality. But what you've actually got as well is, this is a new thing that's been added to OBS. So for example, say I go to VoiceMeeter here and I hit filters. Oh, I've actually got a compressor running. Really? I don't have the compressor running. Oh. Oh, that's what. I had an extra compressor running. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, I had an extra compressor running. Alright, that compressor doesn't run. Hey, Lady Horus.
So you've basically been compressing the compressed audio.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's basically what's been happening. But yeah, so it's kind of, VoiceMeeter has got, not VoiceMeeter, they've added in like a gain, noise gates, noise suppression, and VST plugins. They've actually added it into VST plugins.
I believe I have a gain on my microphone, but...
Oh, wow. Okay. You know what? You don't even need Cantabile anymore. If you just want to do something simple. Did you know that Talent Core, that they added all those filters in? So if you just want to do something simple without going through this whole big thing, you know, with this whole Cantabile thing, you could actually do it by right-clicking on your, say, your VoiceMeeter or your desktop thing, go to filters, and you can add in a basic compressor, or you can add in the VST plugin via OBS, and let OBS do the stuff. And they've really improved that sound.
Yeah, but when you do that, it still uses like the mini host. Whatever you got installed.
No.
For the VST, I only have the mini host as a VST.
No, okay, so the VST, I downloaded a whole lot of VSTs. Where... Dead Duck. The Dead Duck Effects bundle. So these are all the VST things. It's the Dead Duck bundle. These are all my VST things over here. They're just DLLs. So I'm not sure how to get it working in OBS, but it looks like it's a filter, and it seems like if it's installed properly, then yeah, you should be able to do it directly in OBS. See, what I've done with this one, file locations, you see this is kind of, where's it? Plugin options. So these are all the where to find all the VST plugins. So I can use them in here.
Yeah, because I'm looking at those at the VST filter in OBS right now, and it says you have to select a plugin. And whenever I do that, the only one I got is the mini host because I still have that installed for some reason.
Okay, because I've got. Let's have a look here. VST plugins. Open plugin interface. Oh.
Did OBS crash on you?
No, no. Did it? No.
No. I just want because it said oh.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure how it actually works. But it looked like it's got some sort of basic support of it, so I'm not sure. I didn't see any connection to Cantabile. But anyway, the whole thing is, the way the Cantabile works is it goes through VoiceMeeter. So as you're talking to the microphone, the input goes in, goes patches, and then comes out. So it's if you look over here, let me bring that back up. All right. What's going on there? Okay. So if you look at over here, where's my this? Oh yeah, I think that buggerize itself up. All right, there you go. So if you look at the microphone over here.
Oh Lord, you're sounding like a robot now.
Okay, how's that now? Better?
No, it's still.
Okay, that any better?
No, it's good.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of the things that you've it's one of the things with the Cantabile one is you just need to power it off and on a couple of times so it gets in sync with the sound meter. It's one of those weird things. Now, if you look over here, because of the noise gate, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking, but watch this microphone thing over there. Compared to what you're seeing in the sound meter. So you see how that microphone is going all the time?
Yeah.
And the sound meter is not showing it because this one has got, it's got the gateway. You can see it's still picking up the ambient sound, but it's what it's pushing out, because this happens before it goes to the sound meter. So kind of which what happens with if you do it in OBS, that's done after sound meter. So this is done before sound meter. This is done kind of in the sound meter. All the OBS changes are done after sound meter, and that's kind of the real difference. But I'm not sure how well that interfaces with the VSTs and that in OBS. That's relatively new. It's just basically I've got in my startup, it starts up sound meter and it starts up this at the same time. So I've never had to oh, and you see what's happening over here, this browser, that's actually the pretzel playing. So you see that's kind of maximum volume, but I've got the volume turned right down. So even though it says it's playing, the sound meter controls the volume. And that's kind of what's happening there. So everything is VoiceMeeter is my complete mixer. This sort of fits into kind of as a patch to VoiceMeeter, fixing up the sound and everything else, volume wise and stuff like that with the compressors and all that sort of stuff. And then it finally gets mixed up into B1 and B2, which then comes in over here as the mic and all the other sound.
So basically, to get the best compression, that program, that's the way to go.
Well, the thing is, okay, so once you set it up, you hit save your song, right? And you save your song, and that's and then you kind of every time you start up, it loads the same song. So you don't actually, I mean, I literally have the thing starting up minimized, so I never even look at it anymore. Once you've got it set up and working, you don't touch it. And it's the same as VoiceMeeter. The only thing you change on VoiceMeeter is the volumes as you're streaming. All right, then there's something else over here. No. See, I mean, with this, you've got kind of like other effects, like for example, the microphone is saying go to EQ1, but what I actually was trying out is, okay, instead of the stereo out, could then go to the reverb, and then the reverb would kind of, if I turn that on, is that having a reverbing effect now?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can hear myself. All right, is that reverbing? Reverb. Bypass. No. Anyway, I was messing around with yeah. So okay. So I mean, that's kind of the other thing you can do, is you can actually add other effects to it. So right. There you go. Now it should be reverbing properly. There you go. Now it's reverbing properly. Alright, so there you go, reverbing.
That sounds weird.
And now it's not reverbing anymore. So you see what I've done over there is the microphone's coming in and I'm sending it out to two different outputs. One is the normal output, the other is a reverb. So you can kind of, if you want to add effects and things like that, you can do that way. So that's kind of what that's where it gets kind of, kind of cool that way. The other thing is, so one of the reasons I like this one as opposed to that mini host module is, what you can do with these things is you can export your settings and import it, into another one, so you can actually copy the exact same settings, or you can go and actually do it in a much more kind of very specific way, as opposed to playing with the knobs and things like that. So it's that's kind of why I like this Cantabile. It's a little bit harder than the mini host, but it's kind of worth it learning. Now, there was a tutorial on YouTube setting up Cantabile with Soundmeter that I actually followed quite a while back. So that could, that could possibly help do a search on that if you want to go sort of further into it. But that's but basically what I've told you is essentially the basics of it. Okay, so that's
because like I said, my problem is that with the microphone.
Yeah. Now, let me show you another thing that kind of, which in my mind puts VoiceMeeter over the top. VoiceMeeter has got something called macro buttons. Okay, and where's macro buttons? Where they? There they are. All right, so what the macro buttons, for example, like looking at the Discord. Now, if I can push this, and that, you see how
Yeah, you're
muted
muted on Discord.
yeah. Now you say, oh, but you know. So if I Control Alt NP7, number pad 7, pressing Control number pad 7 will mute Discord. Now, of course, I've got that tied into the Stream Deck. And you can do it into others. So certain key presses, you can get it to do certain things. So for example, my pretzel. So I can stop and start pretzel the sound. So just by pressing one button, pretzel stop playing. So I've tied that into the pretzel play and sort of pause and play. Press a button and it starts again. I don't like this pretzel song. I can go to the next song. Oh, go to the next one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you can program all these buttons to do various things. I can mute the OBS mic if I want to. And a whole bunch of things, you know, so you can program, you've got lots of buttons that you can program to do various things and stuff like that. I've got in my, yeah, so it's kind of like, it's a whole bunch of things that you can do over there. So you kind of got that macro button thing and you can get that to start up. So really what you can't do in there. So for example, say, you know, do you have a Stream Deck?
That I do.
Okay, so just as you have your Stream Deck for, you know, you can control OBS and that, you can, with those macro buttons and stuff like that, you can put things in to control VoiceMeeter and all that sort of stuff, you know, VoiceMeeter volumes. And in fact, I've got the Stream Deck also doing some volumes and stuff like that. So you could actually have your volumes, you could kind of have your volumes for your mic, your volumes for the Discord and all that sort of stuff in Stream Deck, and have that macro button, the macro thing actually controlling all that in VoiceMeeter. So you actually don't need to go to VoiceMeeter. You can set it all to do via Stream Deck. So that's kind of where it ties into everything.
Helpful, actually.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a useful feature. There is a way to actually send it across machines as well. I haven't quite done that yet. But yeah, you can get it to control remote VoiceMeeter things and stuff like that. Now, I've just got that MIDI, that Nano Control MIDI. See if I can bring this up here. Oh, okay. Oh, so this is called a Korg Nano Control 2, and you see it's just basically a simple. It's basically a simple MIDI keyboard. Yeah, this camera's crappy for doing it, but it's basically a simple, just volumes with buttons and knobs, and it gives off a MIDI signal, and I use that to control, you know, to control all my volumes and that sort of stuff. So, and then it's just got buttons, so I can hit sort of kind of mute, like there I just muted it while it's still playing. So that's why you see my mouse isn't doing anything. Wrong one. Alright, so yeah, one button mutes it. The volume controls change it. Kind of that whole bunch of thing. Record something, there you go, recording. Record something, there you go, recording. So it's kind of like, you know, everything I've got is I can control through the mixer of Stream Deck and that, and I control everything. I don't really need to touch my the keyboard of my Stream PC at all. And of course on a single PC that would work great as well. You know, you wouldn't need to swap out to different applications and that. You'll just use those guys to do everything. So does that help you understand the sound settings?
Yeah, it also makes me have to go in and fiddle around with Cantabile too.
There is so much fiddling to do. Like mud. No, there is. It's really a big fiddle of everything. But as you can see, kind of, once you've got it set up, I don't need to worry about game sounds being loud. I don't need to worry about the volumes of Discord. I don't need to worry about the volumes of anything. Because everything is pushed at exactly the right volume so that it never overpowers me.
Yeah, and that is basically what would be needed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so Talon, check this out. So on my, VBun is, it's absolutely brilliant. So look at this. This is my game PC. So I've kind of got it to go into the speakers, to the headset, and to the HDMI. So those are the A1, 2, and 3. Right, so I can, in the middle of a game, I can just hit this mute over here, and it will stop going through my speakers, but my headphones are still going. You know, if I have it to these sort of wireless headphones, now I can be talking on this, and all of a sudden I can just turn these headphones on, and there you go. So I've got two microphones, and they're both coming out the same one here. So for every single application, the microphone input is default and the output is default. But I can hot swap microphones and everything else, no problem. Now this is set to the browser, but what I could actually do is set this input to the webcam. Okay, so there you go. Now it's getting a mic from the web. So this is the mic from the Stream PC. This is the mic from the webcam, and this is the mic from the G533 headset. 3 mics, all coming out one thing over there. There, like that. There you go. 3 mics all coming out the one thing. But I never need to tell a game what mic I'm using. This just goes to the default. And the same with, I never need to, and if I want to listen to my speakers or headset, or kind of, in the case of Fested, 2 headsets. Alright, yeah, so this is all running at 100%. The volume of this is all always at 100%. But yeah, so you kind of, so you've got normal, then you can push it up to 12 dB if you want to boost it that way. But I usually have it down there. And again, of each one, so your headset can be louder, your thing can be softer. It doesn't matter. The thing is, whatever I change my listening to over here, it you know, it's still going out at the same volume to the stream PC or to other PCs and stuff like that. I mean, this V-band is it's pretty scary how well this thing works. And it's all at 48, 24 bits. You tell it what channel to come in at, what channel to go out at. No errors. I mean, it's all local. Will it do 96? Yeah, it will do 96 hertz. Yep. And PCM 16 or 24. So yeah, I mean, alright, so the problem that I originally did all this with the HDMI. That's kind of why this is set up to be the NVIDIA HDMI. Because originally what I had to do was I needed to set my sound, every time I started streaming, I needed to set my sound to HDMI, the output, so that it would pick it up on the stream PC. That got old very fast, and the sound going through HDMI was often, it often required you to kind of reset the sound every now and then. Sometimes there was delay on the sound. It never worked great. It never worked great for me. I was always having issues. As soon as I went on to V-band, zero issues, zero delay, perfect every time. So now the HDMI only carries my video. And it's working great for me so far.
Well, I've actually gotten the help that I needed. Now I just need to like figure it out, like get it up, set it up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's a lot of playing and fiddling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so tell him the HDMI delay. I think that's based on the capture card you're using. I mean, I think that's.
But, I'll jump off Discord and jump in with the stream sound. That way I can still consult with my girlfriend about the stuff that we need to figure out.
yeah. I mean, but that's kind of what I've. So I think on. Did I give? Let me just check here. Oh yeah, there you go. If you go into the pins on the Alien Nation Discord thing, I've actually got all this stuff, but with mini host modular, and then later I think I added V-band, but all the stuff is there. I've just replaced that mini host modular with Cantabile.
Yeah. I will look at Cantabile maybe not today, but probably tomorrow.
I just find it a far better. I just find it a far better one than the mini-host modular, because they're actually still actively developing it. The problem with mini-host modular is got it to a point, and the developer says, "Well, it's one of our free software. We're not developing it anymore. It's we're just going to leave it where it is. It's not broken, it works." But the problem is with the Cantabile, they're constantly adding to it and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna look at Cantabile like this weekend and like try and set it up.
Yeah. No, actually,
But
I actually run Cantabile on my main PC as well. And I've got a compressor on my main PC, so if you look at this, any video, and that it's actually compressing, it's running the compressor on there, so even when I'm playing games, the games don't blast me out of the water. Or if I'm watching Twitch and somebody has got awful sound, too loud or too soft, this thing will actually compress it and make it easier to bear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean,
But,
and the same with the, what have I got? I got the mic. Oh, my mic, my other mic has got its compressor on as well, the G533. So it's kind of like it's all there. So I'll run it on both machines, and it works pretty well. Well, I mean, I'm happy. I mean, I don't know what you find, how you find my stream sound quality. You know, but that's kind of
I
how.
find it pretty good.
That's kind of how I'm working without any big external mixer and stuff like that. That it's all software. This is all done in software. I've got no kind of, what's that, $500 mixer that a lot of people tend to use with, you know, I've got that nano control thing, which was like a cheap ass thing. I mean, that's not even a mixer. That's just something to help me control the volumes. But you can do that quite easily on with the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need that. I just wanted something that kind of a little bit more physical, so I could actually, yeah, easily do the high volume, slow, high, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And again, it ties in pretty well with it. In fact, you know how I was doing it before? I had the volumes on. I had a MIDI thing on a tablet, and I was controlling the volumes for sound meter through a tablet.
That might be something I need to like do.
Yeah.
Since I do not have a controller like.
There's on Android you get lots of MIDI controllers with it, and I mean it's just if you look over here, where's it? So my there you go. So if you look here, there's the MIDI mapping, and so you just got to control it. See there, it's got the nano control. So you just set it to something else, and you're able to control it. You know, and yeah, there's plenty available on sort of on tablets and stuff like that, or even your phone. You can set your phone up to control your volume. So you can just, on your phone, you can slide the controllers to set the volume of your stream.
Yeah, and that would be really helpful.
But anyway, that is my sound setup. So this was kind of just a little IRL stream. Does anybody sort of watching have any questions? Want to see anything particular? I mean, it's not a yeah, like I said, it's not kind of, it was just like a person mentioned it was interesting. We tried to do this last week, but got no response, and then sort of asked Facet when he was free today, and that's kind of what we did, just to do this. Just so we got the VOD that we can actually have this up there. I mean, if anybody's got any questions, ask me before I end the stream. You happy with everything you've learned so far?
Well, I am.
Sam, you're an electrical engineer. You can answer that better than I can. Basically, if you use flat wire, you'll get flat sound. But if you use the round wire, it works best because it gives you a much more round sound. Using those flat wires, bad sound, because it's all just flat. There's no depth to it. So always use round wires. Ass. You know, somebody's going to actually take that as a real thing. Probably a flat earther. Yeah, it's flat, two-dimensional. Okay. All right, so yeah, I mean, if you've got any other questions in that, just hit me up on sort of Discord, and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, it's really, it takes a lot of playing with it. What I did a lot was I got the thing set up, and I recorded little things, just showing my desktop as I was adjusting the sound and the things to actually listen back and see what it sounded like kind of on the recording. Because it's hard to, or you do some sort of a little IRL type stream and you ask people to give you feedback as things sound in that. But as you can see, I'm not using anything on, I'm not using anything special in VoiceMeeter. VoiceMeeter is really controlling the volume and doing the mixing. The real change to the sound is done via that Cantabile and the VST things. Yes, Iceman. That's exactly what we did. We recorded little things. Actually, well, yeah, so yeah, just these are the kind of OBS recordings, you know, constantly changing things. And you know, and the thing is, by showing the stuff, showing your desktop, you can actually see exactly what your sound settings were. Don't make the mistake of not showing your desktop and then you can't see what your sound settings were. What works in that. But again, with Cantabile, you can actually save. You can save the songs as different things, so you can always go back to all of the same settings as you had before you changed it. But anyway, there we go. So that's all right. Yeah, and I am gonna end this now. Just again, it was just any little impromptu thing. How long were we going for? Oh, almost 2 hours.
But yeah, Taylor, thank you so much for the help.
Yeah, no worries, Fested. I'm glad I could at least give you some information and get you started with that. And yeah, just and the thing is, just to remember with these, the VoiceMeeter output and input, you've got 2 of them. So you've like you can see when you're playing stuff, like my desktop is all on the input side over there, and that would come in sort of as this desktop thing over here. It's yeah, so it's really watch what happens, have the sound thing, watch what happens when you play in sound, what device goes, and that, you know, and then you can start figuring it out that way, because it is a little bit, seems a bit weird, like. But that's
yeah,
kind
it's
of
gonna take me like watching this a couple of times before I probably get it right, but that's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. You've got this to this to watch to see exactly how mine's set up, and you've also got you know, and then you just got to play. It's really it took me so many hours playing and tweaking and messing around with it and stuff like that, just to kind of get that right mix I wanted. And now once I got it set up, it's kind of, I just don't touch it anymore. With my stream PC, I boot it up, boom, everything's set up. I can start streaming almost immediately. There's no tweaks I need to do or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna look at it maybe tomorrow, so I will probably be having a headache, but it's damn worth it.
Oh yeah, it definitely.
I really gotta run though.
Yep, no worries.
We need to figure some stuff out and eat and all that good things, you know. Life.
Yeah. No worries. Anyway,
But yeah, thank you so much for the help. It's gonna help me a lot.
No, I'm glad I could, and then at least, you know, with Milena screaming all the time, she's not going to kill people's ears.
Yeah, and she said hi, by the way.
And hi to her. But yeah, it's a kind of, you know, you won't have to worry about game volumes and stuff like that. You can just have everything on max, and only volume you need to change is your headphones. You know, how loud it is in your ears, which wouldn't affect the stream.
Exactly. Which is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll talk to you later, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, yeah, do that. All right, guys, that's it for...
Thank you. Bye.
Let's see ya. But that's it for the stream. Just a little quick overview of the whole setup that I've got going. So, sayonara. Goodbye. Catch you later. And if there's anything goes wrong, blame us. That is the most important thing. Blame us. See ya.